It's an evil spell going on, and I personally feel like this election is more to the election. What we dealing with right now, we dealing with pole shifts, what they want to call global warming. They know that the poles are shifting. This is something that happens, they say, between every 2,600 years and 36,000 years. The numbers is off. I don't know the exact numbers, but it happens. This is
Yeah.
why when you read the Bible, it
Shit.
tells you about historical events that happened in the past where certain places like Atlantis is not here anymore. When you look at certain places, like for example, the Grand Canyon, right? Why is the Grand Canyon so top secret? It's a fucking hole in the floor. It's the writings underneath the grounds that they don't want you to see. Everything that we have been
They
taught,
found Egyptian shit in the Grand Canyon.
a
That's what.
lot of Egyptian
No.
shit, because this is where Egypt was in America. America is Egypt. Over
Mm,
there in Africa is Kemet. They didn't
mm,
switch the name up. They confused you. See,
mm.
what people got to understand, there was never no dark ages in history. Because even amongst the dark ages, there was castles built all over the world with free energy. And through pole shifts and through weathers is how they've been erasing our history. And they'll sit up there and tell us that we came to America on a slave ship, but they don't have no pictures of those slave ships, even though there was cameras here. Now we can go back to the South and see the plantations, but where's the slave ships at? I mean, y'all didn't preserve none of them. Technology has been here from the beginning of time. They want you to think that there was a dry spell where we didn't have technology. We are moving to the next phase of society, which is smart cities. Science have superseded magic. Do you believe in magic? There's certain fault lines that the earth is cracking and splitting in half. And I'm gonna send you some information where you can see this for yourself because it's gonna spook you. The earth is cracking open. The earth is ringing like a bell. We just felt our first earthquake where we felt it twice in one day in New York City.
I hear that, and I might. I'm not disputing that. That could be possible. But when you start talking about pole shifts, there's only one pole. There's only the North Pole. See, they done lied to us and said there's North and South Pole. Please understand that all compasses point north. They never point south. Why is that? If you go below the equator, your compass is not going to now mysteriously point to the South Pole. All things, all poles point north because there's only one pole. So this whole thing about a pole shift is some shit that they have planted in our brains to make us think that this is the reason for certain climate shit. I say that to say when I was a child, right? You know what they was teaching? You know what they was teaching and they said was going to happen?
What's that?
It was going to be a new ice age, my guy. That's what they was teaching. That's what they was scaring everybody with. Yo, it's going to be another ice age. The ice age is coming. The ice age is coming. And then all of a sudden, you stop hearing about the ice age and they fucking switch this shit. And then you start to hear about global warming. So we went
Well,
from we was going to have an ice age to now this shit is going to get hot. Which is it, mother? I mean, they was just as
both,
sure as this
both.
global warming is now. It's not both. But see, first of all, they're fucking with the atmosphere with these chemtrails and all that. This is what's fucking with the weather. This is them trying to be God. You know what I mean? So now if they can do certain things to try to heat up the thing and make it look like, hey, look, it is heating up, but you're doing something artificially to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Like when they tell us about ice ages that took out this and that and da 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 da, like I don't trust these motherfuckers as far as I can throw these bitches. Like,
Hell no.
so I'm not relying on their research and all of this type of shit or things that are supposed to be known facts and all of this type of bullshit. Like we got to do our whole scientific shit from scratch because these motherfuckers been lying about the most basic of things. So again, when I also feel like yes, technology that we have did exist already. Like nothing is new under the sun. They want us to believe that they are the greatest mind to ever come across the earth, and that evolution means things just get better over time, and that this man right now is the smartest man to ever exist in the history of people. That's what they want you to believe.
We have proven to be the most ruthless. We'll shoot your kids. We'll shoot up a funeral home. We'll kick over your candles while you sit up there mourning your dad. When it comes time to liberating us all over this globe, from continent to continent, we are the weakest motherfucker that ever walked this earth. And then when you sit back and you analyze how we was talking about dog breeding, right? I realized from breeding dogs that you could pass traits down to other dogs. When you breed people, you pass traits down because you can't beat out what's in the blood. And through slavery, they've infiltrated us and made some of the most evilest shit normal. But we are the offsprings of slavery, crack, coke, dope, apartheid, oppression, and everything else that I'm forgetting and you can't even name. We the offsprings of that. We are the worst of the worst of generations, and that's why we have this drill movement now. We get off the election, right? The election. The
Shout out
election,
to
I mean, let me say this, right? If you think for a second, that the powers to be, these people been in power from the beginning of time, passing down power. If you think that they're gonna let you vote, you're absolutely stupid to think that you're gonna vote the powers to be out of power. People that's been ruling longer than you've been alive, and your grandparents, they've been ruling for thousands of years. The only way for you to take power is to take power. And before they even allow you to take power, they already convinced you that like how we say, because we stupid, oh, these motherfuckers is cave beasts. I most definitely believe in the pole shifts. I definitely believe in earthquakes. We see earthquakes. I
Yeah, we
believe in
seen earthquakes.
tsunamis.
You've never seen a South Pole. You've never seen a magnetic pole in the South ever. That's
Well,
what
I do know that the earth definitely rotates, and we see it and we feel it
does not
rotate.
move at all. No, you don't. No, you don't.
You really
Not
believe that?
rotate, and it does not move at all. What's above you moves, but the earth does not move at all. You don't feel anything moving. There is no quantification. There's been tests done to try to see if it's moving. Check out the Michelson Morley experiment. This thing is not moving, sir. What's above
Well,
you
I
is moving.
mean, I say to each his own. You believe. I
I
let you
mean,
believe
no,
what
it's
you
not
believe.
about believing. This is about studying. See, I've done my homework in this area. This is not just about belief. You know what I mean?
So, so
Like,
let me so let me ask you a question, right?
mhm.
If the earth doesn't move, then how does these cities, right? Because there's underground countries and underground cities that's at the bottom of the ocean historically that we're seeing, and some of these civilizations that they're finding are more advanced than what we were, and they're underwater. How did they get underwater?
First of all, what would the earth spinning have to do with anything being underwater? First of all, it got underwater because the water rose. Simple as that. Water can recede or it can rise, depending on the container that it's in. First of all, water needs a container. It cannot magically mold itself to a ball, especially a spinning ball. It would squirt off, like it would just shoot off in all directions. That's ridiculous. To think that people are upside down on a ball, walking upside down, is like child shit. Like to really think that people are sideways walking around on a fucking ball is fucking ridiculous. Like it's only something that a child would only accept. So the reason why things might have been higher or lower civilizations that you find under is because things get put on top of it. They build up, we build upon civilizations a lot of time on top of other civilizations, was make shit go higher. Water can rise up and all of that type of shit. When they lower the water, voila, there it is. That doesn't show and prove anything about a spinning um, landmass. If it's spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, where's the 1,000-mile-an-hour wind, sir?
So
I just asked
all
a
right. So
question.
we
Spinning
know
at
the
a
salt.
1,000 miles an hour, where are the 1,000-mile-an-hour winds that we should be seeing? And it should all be going in one direction. Why don't we see that?
It's a good question. Just like me sitting up there asking you, um, you have the ocean that meets, and it's crazy because I was just on the cruise and I
Mm-hmm.
actually got to see where the
And it looked
ocean meets.
mad flat, didn't it? It looked like a
No, no,
flat
no, no.
fucking
Where
plane.
salt water meets fresh water, but they
Mm-hmm.
do not intertwine.
Okay.
What is that invisible barrier
That
that
just has
stop
to do,
those?
that's just the density of different liquids. The same way you have a cup, right? And uh you have, let's say, jelly or something at the bottom. Then you have a different sand, and then you have something else. Each thing is different depending on the density. So the salt water is going to be more dense because it has the salt in it. So it's going to be heavier than the fresh water. That's why the two don't mix, sir. It's basic science.
But no, it's not basic science because if I go in your kitchen right now in your house and I put some salt water, fish water, and I get some fresh water, fish water, and put it in a bowl, you're gonna be drinking salt water. Or those fish are gonna be swimming. If I take salt from one tank, salt water, and
Mhm.
put it in my freshwater tank, it has now become a saltwater tank. There is no fresh water. So what is it in the ocean that's that law from God, that law of nature that keeps that water because it's constantly shaking and mixing and shaking and mixing. But if you take it in your fish tank and you mix it, there's an invisible force field.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You know what? I'd have to look more into that. You know what I mean? I'd have to look more into that. I'm not gonna just try to pull some shit out of my ass. Um, but originally I'm thinking one is denser than the other. But yeah, I don't know why the two wouldn't mix as they're right next to each other. I see what you're saying. Like, you
Because
know,
it's laws of the universe. Like, you know what I mean? There's laws
right.
of nature,
And,
there's laws of
right.
God
And one of
that
the
that keep
laws of nature, right, is that water always finds its level, right? That's one of the laws of nature, that water always finds its level and water must have a container. Am I right or left?
right.
Okay, so now if water always finds its level and the earth is covered almost 75% of water, what does that tell you? That the shit is level. That's what that tells you. That we're on a level plane, sir.
Well, I mean,
An
like I
unmovable
said,
plane.
some things can't be explained. Like you said, you got to look into why the water don't mix. So there's certain boundaries that we there's certain things that we know and we don't know, and there's still
Look
questions that I
into
have.
it.
I'm not going to listen. I'm
Right.
not going to act like I know everything because some things we still can't explain. The way they tell us that we talking to each other right now, they try to tell us that we got satellites in space, but some people feel like space doesn't exist. That the satellites is really underneath
And
the
I'm
ocean.
telling you that. Well, there's cables that's underneath the ocean, and then they also have high flying balloons that are satellites, but they don't have no outer space shit. They ain't been to outer space. That's some bullshit.
Some people believe outer space is really another ocean on top of us.
Or outside of us. Well, yes, outer space, yes, could be water. It's possible that there could be water above, as they say. Um, we won't know until certain things, you know, we have the freedom to do certain things and experiment certain things on our own and not take the word of known liars and untrustworthy people. Um, so until we start doing our own research, a lot of this is going to be mysterious. The whole atmosphere is electromagnetic, and we should be having free energy. We shouldn't have to pay for none of this shit. You know what I mean? I just saw some shit. Um, it was one of those little videos on IG, and they were saying, the black man invented the light bulb. He said, and the white man invented the light bill. Okay.
That's deep.
He said the black man invented the traffic light and the white man invented the traffic ticket.
That's evil. Ooh, that's evil.
Like, think about that shit. Like the diabolic, like we'll come up with some great shit to try to advance humanity, and they'll just find a way to fucking make money off the shit and just blood suck the fucking people. Yeah, it's crazy. Real quick, I'm sure we've made many people mad so far. And I'm just going to go ahead and make them a little more mad. I want to play a song for you just to let you know this was done by AI too. Called Kamala Ain't Black. Let's check it out.
Oh, shit.
Kamala ain't black. Her daddy ain't either. Kamala ain't black. What makes you believe her? After legend and stories been told, all skin folk came. Kamala ain't black. Kamala ain't black. That bitch is Indian. So is her mama. That bitch is Indian. So is her father. That ain't the same. This ain't no game. Kamala ain't black and neither is her name. Kamala ain't black. Yes, Kamala ain't black. Kamala ain't black. Her father ain't black. Her sister ain't black. So don't bother. The Kamala ain't black. Her father ain't black. Kamala ain't black. So don't bother. The Kamala ain't black. Her father ain't black. Her sister ain't black. So don't bother. Kamala ain't black.
Thank you. Sound check. Yeah.
That shit gave me chills. Oh, that shit gave me chills.
Y'all can download that right now. God damn it. It's available for streaming. Go to fucking
Ooh,
Spotify. Yeah. It's real, y'all. Go get that.
whoa.
Kamala Ain't Black. Jamar Milton.
It's just sad though because it's like I see this from different angles because I see like being that we on social media, I see the racial tension, and regardless of whether we say that phony bitch ain't black or not, I see how the enemy looking at all of us, and it's getting real deep. I see the racial tension. I see like they're like, nigga, you a mongoloid, you a caucasoid, you a negroid. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, I understand that song is deep. That bitch ain't one of us. She ain't you. She ain't you. That's clear to us. We already know this is the district attorney who took pride. The bitch sat up there and said, she said, yo, I could sit up there and get you locked up and fuck up your whole life. Had a whole lecture on it. Or I could sit up there and let you go 2 months later with the stroke of a pen. I said, ooh, this bitch is evil.
Like,
So
that's a
I know
lot of power.
she could never represent me. But at the same
Mhm.
time, I also understand everybody black ain't my brother. When we decide to go to the promised land, see when Noah builds Noah's ark and we decide to collect who's going with us, everybody can't get on that boat because some people gonna get on that boat and they're gonna play possum. And when we get to the promised land, these niggas is gonna pull out their sword and take over.
Hmm.
Everybody can't go to the pride. Everybody black cannot go with us.